Inspector General, and then the other one was Corporate Counsel as one of the choices. So I'll ask it in the same order. The order I'm going to ask it in is, 1, do you want to not do anything? 2, do you want to make a change? And then 3, do you want to put it forward as is? Obviously, we don't get to 3 if you make a change. All right. So first question is, does anyone anyone want to advocate that we do not take any action in this and leave the law as currently written?
Correct. That's me.
That's you. So would you like to make a motion? The process will be, if she chooses to make a motion, it would need to be seconded and then voted on.
And I make a motion that we do not put this proposal forward.
No, do not put any change forward.
Right. Well,
no, not this proposal. Any.
All right. Any. Right. Okay. Sorry.
When you make a change, we would not.
Why don't you make the motion and then I'll just say I make that motion.
Are you making?
I'm making a motion that we not put
any changes to this succession in the current charter.
Correct. I propose that we keep the charter the way it is.
You move that you would keep the charter the way it is with regards to succession.
With this particular way.
So moved. Is there a second? There is no second. The motion dies. Second choice is, do you wish to make a change? The changes that I have articulated, and you can put forth other changes if you have any other changes, where the elected officials should be either primary or only. The deputy mayor should be an elected official. We should change the system to make the deputy mayor an elected official. Include in the line of succession, and then we would need to decide where to include in the line of succession the Inspector General's position and or the Corporate Counsel's position. Does anyone wish to advocate one of those solutions? Thank you. Anyone wish to advocate any one of those solutions? All right. The third choice that we said was available to us was to put forth the charter amendment as I read it and as we put forth for public hearing. Would anyone like to make a motion to put the charter amendment forward as I read it?
Just if I may.
Point of order, hold 1 second, yes.
You had mentioned Section B, but you neglected to mention that Section C was also a minor change to Section C.
Thank you very much. That's why you have attorneys. What Brian has noted is that in the proposal that we put forth in Section C, it says, and the mayor shall not hire any person, is an addition, the change or change.
Reads that
the mayor shall not terminate. And we're also reading that they shall not hire. And everyone will recall, and it's here, listed here, that this is a 90-day period until the special election occurs. Thank you for noting that. So, does anyone wish to move that we put forth the charter amendment as we have discussed? Moved by Bob. Is there a second? Seconded by Chris. Is there any further discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
My view is that they, based upon the comments we heard from the public, they're saying that the successor should be an elected official, and what this proposal does is, it doesn't have an elected official, and I think that the existing charter doesn't specify an elected official either, but I don't think that, as the existing wording now says, it's just the city council shall designate as acting mayor, deputy mayor, commissioner, executive branch department head. So that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be an elected official either, but I think that it's, kind of based on what we heard from the public, I don't know that this is a good alternative other than to just table it till next year and maybe work on it a little more in depth the following year. So that's why my motion was to say don't do anything this year, because I don't think it's what we heard from everyone. voted, that I made the motion to do the other thing.
Okay.
But the proposal does say that a special election will be held within 90 days.
Right, I understand that, but it's just saying that, but, what we heard from the public was even if it's somebody is acting there, they have indicated they think it should be an elected official. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I don't know that even if there's a special election in 90 days, that it's going to happen. I know the special election will happen, but I think that the wording that we have here now, the way that we did this proposal was to have a line of succession kind of similar to the U.S. Constitution, as opposed to just what was originally suggested was, just pick 6 people. The mayor could pick 6 people of his or her choosing to be the successor. So I think that, my feeling is not to move it forward. So that's all.
Just to
making my
reiterate,
comment.
the reasoning behind the current language was one, as you noted, the current language in the charter doesn't have an elected official as well.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily have the person that this charter thought was the first person that should be in line because it was open listed. So this charter mission determined that it was a specified list. And then the suggestions put out that we need to have multiple positions to assure that if someone rejected or couldn't serve, then we could find ourselves in the place of not having someone to serve. And so by putting someone in succession, the idea was the deputy mayor and then the city council president, and then putting a pool that would assure that we should find someone. And again, we also acknowledge that this is a situation that does not occur on the regular, and we are talking about a 90-day period. And so that was the logic behind the decision to put a specified person and those persons in place.
Okay.
Any additional comments? No? All in favor of the motion? 4. Opposed? 1. Motion carries to place this item on the ballot as the way we read it this evening. Are there any additional items? Sorry, actually, I'm not going to ask that question. I normally ask the question this time, are there any additional items for consideration for the ballot? But unless we were willing to somehow have a public hearing for that, we cannot consider additional items for the ballot. Yes. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. All right. I'm just going to call for a revote on the final item. It was pointed out to me that just to make sure we don't have any issues, we'd like a majority. Our rules don't call for this, but we'd like a majority of the commission voting in favor of an item. And so we have the 6 of us here, and if I don't vote in favor of an item, that's not the majority of the commission, the majority of the 9. And so I'm calling for an additional vote on the item. So before you is a motion to put forth the succession as articulated to the ballot for vote on by the citizens. All in favor? I count 5 in favor, opposed 1, so the vote is 5-1. I'd like the minutes to reflect that we did have the 2 votes and the reason for the second.